Yo, 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 what's going on, Tiger Bite Squad? Welcome to another episode of Great or Hate, where we take a closer look into a wide variety of games and determine whether they're actually great, whether we should hate, or if there's something in between. Now, in this episode, we'll be playing Jaws on the NES, which is supposedly based off of one of the all-time great movies, and, according to this opening title screen, is about an angry, sleep-deprived squid. I guess that's supposed to be a great white shark, but it could also be a squid. Just saying. Now, I've never played this game before, but I did play Jaws Unleashed for the PS2 and loved that growing up. You know, what 13-year-old wouldn't like Grand Theft Shark, where you control a great white in an open world and tear up spring-breaking frat stars swimming at the beach? Maybe we'll play that for a future video, but for now, we'll start with Jaws on the NES. First, let's talk about the game's story, and where should I begin? So, of course, the movie is about Amity Island suffering a series of great white shark attacks, and so they task Quint, Brody, and Hooper to hunt down the shark. Obviously, a lot goes on during the hunt, which is why the movie was so great. But forget all of that, because the game completely disregards the movie's story entirely. I mean, other than the title screen saying Jaws, I don't even think this game has anything to do with the movie. They totally could have just called this movie Deep Sea Diver or Sea Creature Poacher, and you wouldn't even blink an eye. There's no story to this game whatsoever, and I'm not even exaggerating. Just look at the transition between the title screen and when you start playing the game. Yeah, that's it. Nothing. And even when you start playing, there's no explanation about what you're doing, who you are, or where you're even going. So, without knowing any of this, you control your boat aimlessly until you bump into something like it's one of the old Pokemon games, which then triggers this blonde scuba diver to dive into the water to mark a bunch of stingrays, jellyfish, and starfish that are all minding their own business. What's even the point of this? Did they even pose a threat to your boat at all? I thought this was Jaws, not Poaching Simulator 1987. Once you annihilate all the sea creatures with your harpoon, you then get back on your ship and aimlessly wander once again, bumping into more innocent sea creatures, which then makes your scuba diver go all Anakin Skywalker and destroy them like he did with the Tusken Raiders in episode 2. And this repeats over and over again, and the worst part is that you don't even know what you're even accomplishing by doing any of this. Where the heck is Jaws? After a while, you start seeing mini great white sharks and you attack them too, but everything is more or less the same. Oh, sometimes you also get this bombing raid bonus mission where you carpet bomb innocent jellyfish dancing in the water for extra points. Yeah, don't ask me because I don't even know. So after a while, you see Jaws' fin finally appearing in the water, and if you bump into it, it triggers the same thing as usual, but now Jaws is in it too. But when you shoot your harpoon at Jaws, nothing happens. This Jaws' power meter at the bottom doesn't even go down at all. Also, can we talk about how Jaws' power is not even grammatically correct? It should be S''S, since there's only one Jaws. At least I think. Are those smaller sharks Jaws as well? Who knows? But anyway, yeah, shooting at Jaws does absolutely nothing. So you destroy the other sea creatures, and the game returns you to your boat, where you drive around until eventually you see what looks like a port. Going to these ports raises your power meter by 1 point, and then you're back in the ocean doing the same thing again. After doing this for some time, I found out that you're trying to collect as many shells as you can by destroying as many creatures as possible, until you can go to the port to raise your power level enough so that you can finally start to damage Jaws when you shoot it. That's it, that's the entire game. You're trying to go between only 2 ports, collecting shells to raise your power level so that you can damage Jaws. Now, to be fair, the underwater action sequences are fairly entertaining and the controls are pretty crisp. I actually thought this part of the game was fun, although they do have some really frustrating aspects, which I'll discuss further later. But any entertainment from this is quickly overcome by the mind-numbingly repetitive nature of the game. It's legitimately the same thing over and over again until you can build up enough power to finally damage Jaws enough. If this was one of the old Pokemon games for the Game Boy, it would be as if your current level is too low to beat the current gym leader, so you're running around beating up only wild Caterpies just to level up. That's it, super primitive, but that's this game. Once you get Jaws' power down, it triggers this harpooning sequence where you're trying to steer your ship, use one of your strobes to get Jaws to leap out of the water, and then time your harpoon so that you can stab it. You get 3 tries to get all of this right, and if you fail, the game puts you right out on the water again, and Jaws is back at full power. And then you'll have to go through the same process of weakening Jaws in order to reach that final sequence once again. But steering during this final sequence is so frustrating because for some reason the water is like a conveyor belt because the tide keeps changing every 3 seconds. Also, there is no explanation of what's going on here at all. I still have no idea what a strobe is and why it's causing Jaws to jump out of the water like that. It took me a couple of wasted tries to even realize what was even going on here. And then finally, I just got really lucky one time and managed to time it right, and... That's it. That's the entire game. You can beat this game in half an hour. To put that in context, half an hour into the first Lord of the Rings movie, Frodo didn't even know about the One Ring yet. 30 minutes? That's ridiculous. Okay, so now that we got the first grade level storytelling out of the way, let's talk about some of the annoying aspects of the gameplay itself. First, this game is called Jaws, but the massive great white shark isn't even the most difficult enemy you encounter. Guess what sea creature could possibly be the ruler of the seas according to this game? Give up? It's the freaking jellyfish! Oh god, are they incredibly annoying to defeat. While you're preoccupied with Jaws and the other sharks coming after you in the waters, you get bombarded by jellyfish swimming up at you in zigzag patterns. In order to dodge them, sometimes you have to swim right next to the sharks. It's like if you were in a ring with an angry bull, while trying to avoid dodgeballs being thrown at you at the same time. What makes it even more tricky is if you're unlucky to have to leave your boat in shallow water. In these situations, you're left with dodging everything in such a confined space that there's nowhere to run or maneuver. So, this game had so much potential. Controlling Jaws would have been a cool feature, but even any story to the game whatsoever would have made it a viable game. Seriously, the game is just you going back and forth from one port to a second port over and over again. This game was apparently created by a team of 3 people, and that's pretty impressive, but I don't know, maybe they should have hired a 4th person to come up with a story or something like that? That's just a thought. You know what, here, I'll even give it a try. So if someone's gonna make a remake of this game, they're more than welcome to use this storyline free of charge. Oh wait, there's already a great storyline that a game like that could use. It's called the freaking movie! So overall, the gameplay itself wasn't terrible and the action sequences can be entertaining, but all of this for what? There's no point to any of this. So on a scale from great to hate, I would give Jaws a rating closer to hate, just because there's no explanation of what you're really doing and zero storyline whatsoever. The game is also way too simple and way too short. Well, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, because I genuinely would love to hear what you all think about this game. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this review of Jaws, please leave a like and subscribe so that you can join in on more fun in the future. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay true. Peace out, Tiger Bite crew.